man. Between Houston, traveling to Houston for my stuff and all that, kind of low on the totem pole, to be honest. But I'll try to get some if I have some time.
All right. Well, if you ever need a hookup, I'm sure that we could hook you up with them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Dave's been over to my house when we lived in Navarre.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
And he was at when we did the Michigan fan club over in Navarre. He was over there.
Well, give me a favorite and a dark horse for March Madness.
I would say...
don't say Michigan as a favorite, or else that doesn't count.
No, I'm not. They're playing the worst basketball at the worst possible time. I was telling Eddie that.
So that's your dead horse.
I mean, they could be a sleeper if they can start playing like they were playing, you know. But I think favorite would be Duke, right? I think Auburn isn't going to do anything. I think they're going to choke again. You know, I really, people are high on them, but I just don't see it. And I don't see Houston. So, you know, we'll see. I have to go with probably Duke, you know, and then I'll go Michigan, my dark horse.
So you go with Salk.
Get their stuff together. But, you know, a sleeper, though, watch out for Sparty. Tom Izzo knows how to coach in March Madness, bro.
No doubt.
I give him credit.
You can never discount what Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans are able to do when it comes to this point. And another dark horse has got to be St. John's and Rick Pitino, right?
Yeah. They're playing some good basketball, too. They're playing some good basketball. And then Maryland, they look strong against Michigan, you know. So we'll see.
And there you go. St. Mary's to the 8 at least from Boston Tim. How do you feel about St. Mary's and run that they could make?
They're always a good feel-good story. You know, they come in, they do really good in their conference and all that, but then, you know, they'll make it maybe to the Sweet 16, round of 32 or something like that, and then they'll bow out. You know what I mean? So they got to prove it. It's kind of like back in the day when I always got hyped up on Georgetown. I'll pick them to go far, or Villanova until they finally broke through. They would always disappoint me, you know. And I used to pick St. Mary's, too, to go a little bit farther, the Elite Eight, Final Four, whatever, and then they would disappoint me. So I just got to go with their track record, and they got to prove it to me. So, you know, they very well could. Anything could happen in March Madness. That's why they call it March Madness, right? So anything could happen. Look at that team that beat UVA. You know, that university, what was that school? Maryland something?
UMBC.
Yeah. And they took down the number 1 seed. So you never know what could happen.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, Michigan's in trouble. They're going to get between a 4 and 8 seed. And those are the toughest seeds, man. You know? And those are the toughest seeds that come out of the first round. So we'll see. That's where most of the upsets happen, right? So we'll see.
Who's that, the Peacocks? Was that the team?
You had. Are you talking about teams who
beat the 1 seed? Yeah.
There's only been 2. Is Fairleigh Dickinson, and they were not the Peacocks. That was St. Peter's.
Okay,
yeah. Purdue
right.
the year prior to 16 seed FDU taking care of business against Purdue. Michigan, Eddie, thanks so much for the call, my friend.
All right, man. Go Blue Sharks in reserve. We're going to back to I'm out. See ya.
All right, we've got a little bit of more time left here. Still wondering if we're going to be able to talk about the Don Fargo Memorial Tournament, but we'll find out as we inch a little bit closer. Coach Brian is in the studio with us, so we'll have him in here with us as we get ready for hour number 2. What 1992 sports movie starred Emilio Estevez was produced entirely in Minnesota and followed a team of ragtag young Minneapolis athletes for a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, a $25 gift certificate to not the, but that boot store, and a Golf Plus certificate.
Is that Hoosiers?
I think that you're way off right there, but it is in that same exact vicinity. Caveman Rick, what do we want to talk about next? I mean, the NHL trade deadline is upon us. We've had some big moves. The Lightning have brought back Yanni Gourde. They've got Oliver Bjorkstrand with us as well. They give up 2 first-round picks and I believe a second-round pick.
Crazy game last night, too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And to end the second period, 5-5, the final score was 6-5. How wild is that? But then the Colorado Avalanche got one of the most prized pieces in the NHL in the NHL trade deadline in Brock Nelson this afternoon, and there's another guy who is a Nat across the league
I think it's
in
worse
the
than
NHL.
that, man. Maybe a no-see-him.
There you go. He was a Boston Bruin, now a Florida Panther, and if you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, you despise the Florida Panthers. 850-215-6290. Play a little trivia with us. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Friday. Mostly sunshine the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour out of the south, and look for it to be 67. Tonight there will be mostly clouds with the temperature reaching 62. A chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with the high of 70. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on the Sports Talk Monster. You're gonna be mine. Woo! ESPN Northwest Florida.
And you're back riding with the Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm Caveman Rick with David Hayes, who's somewhere in the building, and Brian Haddad is going to be with us shortly. Stay tuned here soon. We got some wrestlers supposed to be showing up. They're not quite here yet. Stuck in a little traffic, but once we get our guys back here, we should be switching over to talking a bunch of wrestling here, some local wrestling along with the big WWE type stuff and the real wrestlers and not stuntmen. So that should be pretty good.
The real wrestlers and not stuntmen. I mean, I think that's a very nice way of you to put that, Caveman Rick. I don't know if we're actually going to have Preston Veston and Spider. I know that they're on their way, but, you know, we already had our plans going. So if they get here before 5, we'll get them on. The trivia question for this afternoon, which is rather easy, right? What 1992 sports movie starred Emilio Estevez, was produced entirely in Minnesota and followed a team of ragtag young Minneapolis athletes?
Yeah, I think it had 3 sequels after that. So
You
it
said
should
Fast and Furious, right?
No, that one had like 10 or 12.
Yeah, it did.
You know?
It
Something
did.
like that. You know, it gets a little crazy. It's kind of like those like Friday the 13th movies, man. You just can't kill the guy. Keeps coming back.
Well, what do you think some of the moves that we've had in the NHL, the Philadelphia Flyers really not making a lot of moves? They kind of started hot this year, right?
Yeah, we're sellers. I mean, we're not going to make the playoffs. We did get rid of Scott Lawton today, traded him to the Maple Leafs. Not too happy about that. He was one of the guys on the Flyers that kind of liked a lot. Real gritty dude, good two-way player. So hate the fact that we had to move somebody like that. Usually when stuff like this happens, though, you end up being a seller, move some people, but hopefully they'll get their stuff together. Honestly, don't want to dwell on the Flyers too much. Really, I think what we need is new ownership. Ever since Ed Snyder died and basically Comcast has taken over the reins of, owning the team, they're more worried about making money than winning, I think. And unfortunately, it's not good for my Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, I'm 47 years old. Last time we won the Cup was, 50 years ago in, 75.
So way before you were born.
Well, a couple of years before I was born. I was born in 77. Last time they won, it was 75.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 47.
Oh.
I'm pushing 50, baby.
Pushing 50,
Yeah.
My goodness.
So the Flyers haven't won in 50 years.
You are old.
Flyers haven't won in 50 years. Also, this past week, I was noticing, too, 50 years of the band Iron Maiden. Kind of cool, too. I'm an Iron Maiden fan, so they've been playing music for 50 years. So pretty neat,
Well, let's go over to Ryan to play a little bit of trivia with us. What 1992 sports movie starred Emilio Estevez, was produced entirely in Minnesota, and followed a team of ragtag young Minneapolis athletes? What do you got for us, Ryan?
I think it might be the Mighty Ducks.
Is that your final? Do you want to rethink that a little bit?
No, I guess I'll go with that.
All right.
Quack, quack.
You are correct, my friend. Who was your favorite character on the Mighty Ducks?
I don't have one.
That is
I'll tell you who mine was, man.
All right, good.
How about Goldberg, man? The goaltender, the fat kid. I mean, he was a Flyers guy, right?
Yeah.
So, he wore the Flyers. If you look at that kid now, good Lord, what a mess, man. He lost all the weight, went to jail, ended up being a convict, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's going real life. You're bouncing back and forth between real life and...
Yeah, I'm just saying the actor that played that kid, he lost all that weight. I don't remember what he got in trouble for, but he went to jail. He was a convict. So, but he was a Flyers fan in the movie. So, and he was a goaltender. He liked to imitate Ron Hextall. So big ups to him.
Ryan, are you a hockey fan at all, or are you just a Mighty Ducks fan?
No, not at all. I'm a Walt Disney fan, and I remembered the movie back then when it came out. Now the point that it was entirely filmed in Minnesota, I didn't know that. That was pretty cool. And to be honest with you, I've never seen any of the other two sequels. I think there was 2 sequels.
There was Mighty Ducks 1, Mighty Ducks 2, and the Mighty Ducks 3. So let me ask you this: what's your, being a Disney guy, what's your favorite Disney sports movie of all time? For me, I feel like that's pretty easy. It's cut and dry between 2. Even though the Mighty Ducks is one of my favorite of all time, I would have to narrow it down between Remember the Titans and
The Rookie.
The Rookie.
The Rookie, yeah, that was a good movie.
Never seen it.
What about for yours?
I don't know. The Little Giants, that wasn't a Disney movie, was it?
Ooh,
No,
I don't think it
Little
was.
Giants was
I watched that the other day, like 6 months ago. I watched that, and that was, oh man, the nostalgia that paired along with that was pretty daggum good. Now, Ryan, is this Ryan Mathis?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I thought that I recognized the voice here. So you are the winner of our trivia, and you're going to be getting a $25 gift card to that boot store, 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, and a gift certificate to Golf Plus. Who's your college team, man?
Oh, I'm Florida State.
How many games do y'all win in 2025?
How many games are in the season?
12.
That many.
Wait, you're saying y'all go undefeated?
You have to have optimism.
He's a
I
fan.
have to revoke all of the trivia prizes from him.
How about this, Ryan? Got a question for you. So say the Florida State Seminoles are out of the running for winning the ACC or like going to the national championship. Are you going to root for any ACC teams or have any vested interest, or do you want them all to lose because your team's out?
No, I would pull for the next team that I would favor in such a sense. I mean, I'm not just an ACC fan. I'm kind of sporadic all over the board when I choose what team I'm going to pull for. It's certainly not the Gators, and it's certainly not the Hurricanes. In such sense, but I don't know. I would pull for somebody in the ACC, I guess. And I would hope that we could be in the top 12 in the nation. Probably not, but it'd be, more of that optimism.
Hey, we'll take optimism everywhere that it comes from. Ryan, thanks so much for the call, my friend. Do me a favor, hang on the line real quick. Well, actually, you don't even have to do that. We know who you are, so you just show up and we will take care of you. All right, my friend?
You're awesome, David. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
All right, so kind of back to this situation because we're just going to ask people about how they feel about it, and I don't blame you on that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Again, this is one of those things where I'm not sitting here saying I'm taking the SEC over anyone else. No, for me, and this is different, right? You have people who are, if they're a Mississippi State fan, they're probably going to take the SEC and everything that they can. If they're an Alabama fan, I don't know, because I'm not your normal everyday Alabama fan. I'm not picking the SEC over everything. However, if I get into a Tennessee-Ohio State situation where either team feels like they could win, I'm going to take Tennessee over Ohio State. And I hate Tennessee, but I hate Ohio State even more. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying, but I still think it's a Southern mentality, because I think most of the people
I think
that
it
we've
is,
talked to,
but they started it. The SEC started it, because go to each and every conference, which one of them have ran the table as the SEC did for a period of time.
I mean, that's fine. But like I said, again, you said you started it, or you guys down here started it. I don't think so. I think what started it was all the other people for like years and years before the SEC had its run, had the mentality like I have. And that hasn't gone away. Now, you guys have came up with your mentality of wanting to, like, root for teams in the SEC because you guys want to, like, say, oh, yeah, we're part of the SEC and, blah, blah, blah. We want to be part of, like, quote, unquote, what you guys want to call or think is the greatest conference. Well, yeah,
I wouldn't even say right now.
15, 20 years, maybe, yeah. But there's a rich history of sports that have happened since the year 2000.
Name them. One by one. No, I'm just kidding. I felt like being
so this is all like recent. This is recency bias. I think in a lot of ways.
I don't think that you can say something that happens over a decade is recency bias.
Sure, it is. If it's only been like the last 20 or 25 years tops or something like that,
25
that's
years
recency
is a
bias.
quarter of any daggum human being's life.
So what?
That's a quarter of a human being's life.
Stuff's been going on for a lot longer than that.
No. That's where we have to just disagree heavily on.
You can disagree all you want.
It's a quarter of a human being's life. You can't say that if someone does something for a quarter of a century, it's just that. That's just is what it is.
That's only because, like, Alabama's prominence and stuff in the recent history.
Ridiculous.
Because people weren't thinking that in the 70s and the 80s
There's
and the 90s.
a reason why FSU and Clemson did what they did.
Yeah, they don't want to be in their own conference. They want to move conferences. That should tell you something.
Why?
Because the ACC sucks.
No, that's a portion of it. But because now the Big Ten has, the Big Ten and the SEC are top two dogs, right? FSU and Clemson they are right along every other school in the Big Ten and in the SEC, right? Like, the reason why they want that is because the ACC did them dirty? No, absolutely not.
They're doing the ACC dirty.
They got too big for their britches.
No, they're doing the ACC dirty. You're in that conference. Stay in your conference.
I will agree with that, but my thing is that, no, it's...
And if it's not for Alabama and Nick Saban having the run that you guys had, this is not even...
Clemson,
this isn't even a topic right here. This is only because of the recency bias.
No, it's a topic. No, it's a topic regardless.
Sure it is.
But people forget about the run that Clemson had, though. Has everyone forgotten that Clemson beat the dog tar out of Alabama?
Sure, they had a little bit of a run, but so does like a lot of teams do.
They beat the tar out of Alabama.
And so did a school like Nebraska. They used to be the cat's meow years ago. And look at them now, okay?
But that was a totally different time.
Exactly. That's my point. A totally different time. So back years ago, that's how it was. Now in the last 20 years, we're talking about something that's been going on in the last 20 years. So, I mean, again, recency bias. There's a rich history in sports and in football that happened long before the last 20 years.
And again, I will also say where we're at right now is, does it give people the right to just SEC all the way? No, I don't think so at all. And again, I'm someone who just uses them for bowl pick'ems, period. You know, but it's...
I say if you're a fan of your team, and like I say, you don't like another team for 10 games or whatever during the regular season, you're not much of a fan if you're going to root for them or pull for them after the fact later on.
And what I would say is that if LSU is taking on Tulane and both of those teams are 10-2, what team do you think I'm taking?
I would take the underdog. I would take Tulane.
Well,
we're the Afternoon Underdogs, right?
I don't feel like, right.
So but take the underdog.
I use that when I need to use that.
That's called a cop-out. That's like, it's convenient when it's okay over here, but when it's not convenient, I'm going to say this.
If I'm in a bowl pick'em, I'm trying to win a little bit of money. So I'm trying to make the smartest pick available.
So then do that. But then, like, it doesn't mean you got to, like have a vested interest. Your interest is in the money, not in the team. You're interested in trying to win the money.
And if it comes down to, I don't know who would win out of these two teams. Let me flip a coin.
Hey, I like to do parlays, and I like to bet too, right? So am I going to pick a team that I think's going to lose? No, I'm going to pick the team that I think's going to win, right?
Exactly. Oh, I almost went to your level.
Regardless of, like, you know, the conference or what have you, because I'm trying to win cash money.
Again,
but
you ain't listening to me. You're not listening to me.
Take away the cash money, then I don't care.
Again, you're not listening to me. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not just going blind picking the SEC like they're everything.
Your
that ever
interest
to me.
in it is because you want to say, like, oh, okay, I want an SEC team to win too, so that my team looks like it has a better record later on.
You're saying my interest.
Yeah,
is
and most people's like that is what you guys are saying is you want a team
not
in the
you
conference
guys.
to
You
win
can't say you guys.
to help out.
This isn't Philadelphia, cuz. You can't say you guys. This ain't you guys. This is David Hayes.
We had this conversation the other night. Same thing.
It doesn't matter. It's not you guys. I'm not you guys.
Whatever.
I'm David.
All right. The point is that you want the SEC to have like a better record.
No, I don't care. I don't care.
You did. You said that the other night.
No, I don't. If I have an opportunity, if I have an opportunity to say, like, all right, Tennessee, Ohio State, right? Go back to that. And I can point you to many
because you want Tennessee to win because it helps out.
It doesn't have to do that.
It helps out Alabama's situation.
No,
sure it
not
does.
In bowl season. How does that help out?
It helps out with the records and like in the interest of the team.
It really doesn't. That doesn't help out. Regular season
doesn't matter now because nobody plays in bowl games anyways.
To the nimwits.
Bowl season.
To the nimwits.
Bowl season's
to
a
me
joke.
It matters.
Bowl season's a joke.
Bowl
season's clown shoes.
I will say
half of the kids don't even want to play because they're more worried about trying to get into the NFL. Bowl season is nothing anymore than what it used to be. Bowl season is a total farce and a joke.
I think that's everyone who doesn't love college football, right? And you're not a college football lover. Exactly. You're unbiased and I don't want to say unknowledgeable.
I don't have a horse in the race. So what I got to say
exactly. For me, does bowl season mean less? Maybe to some extent, but to me it means a lot, right? And so when I'm making a pick and it's either, let me flip a coin, is it the Volunteers, who I absolutely hate, or is it Ohio State, who I hate even damn more?
Then don't pick either one of them.
You cannot do that.
Yes, you can. Just watch the game for what it is, and if you're going to pick them,
how are you going to? If I got a bowl pick,
then flip the coin. Then you know what? Grow a sack and just flip the coin.
Grow a sack and just flip the coin, and guess
let
what?
that decide.
The coin. I control the freaking coin. Don't make me cuss on the air. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. No, I'm not getting in trouble with Randy. Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest.
Say what you mean.
We got Jimmy and Coach Brian coming up next.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, a variety of very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 62 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Sprinkles tomorrow morning, a light breeze and quite warm near 69. Lightly sprinkling and 70 in the afternoon and evening. 69 and light rain and a chance of thunderstorms with a gentle breeze Sunday. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests ever entering your home. Include inspection, prevention, education, and when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WPLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your SEC champion Auburn Tigers close the regular season at home against Alabama.
10 to shoot. Janai spins. In the lane with 6. Up with the left hand. Got it! Chad Baker. He'll pop a 3. Yes! Hedford on the wing. Gets a screen. Drives free throw line. Down the lane. Jump step. Up and in. There's your foul!
Tip-off Saturday at 1:30 with coverage at 1 p.m. on your home for the champions.
ESPN Northwest Florida, War Eagle.
Hi, this is Orlando Magic guard Jalen Suggs. Listen for select Orlando Magic games right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to my boy David Hayes and the Afternoon Underdogs.
We're back. It's hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs, and we have a full house in the building. I'm David Hayes, along with Caveman Rick, Coach Brian Haddad, and Jimmy, who's he don't want to see.
All right.
He don't want to see me come across the table and raise the arm, does he now?
Yeah, actually, I'm rooting for that because you think you're in the business now, so come on over, Rover. Let Faro take over.
Well, RKO time.
Yeah,
that's right.
RKO time.
All right, let's get into this.
Let's get into
I was
it.
driving in listening to you two yahoos.
Oh, you yahoos.
First of all,
this ain't Pensacola.
Watching y'all almost kill each other was hilarious earlier, but no, first of all,
it's all love.
Caveman Rick is 100% right.
Thank you.
It's not a southern thing or a northern thing.
No, he says it is a southern thing.
Well, I'm saying it's not. It's just
so then
you.
You're disagreeing with
it's
him.
you.
It's
me. Hate your rivals. I did not.
I hate my rivals.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I did not pull for Auburn when they won the national championship.
Right.
I did not pull for LSU. And if Tennessee was playing Al-Qaeda University, I'd be pulling for Al-Qaeda.
I pulled for Florida State when they were playing Auburn.
Yeah, that's fine.
But here's my thing, though. If I got money on the line,
money's different.
That's what I said. Money's different. You got to think smart about money.
Right, and that's the thing is my mind works more than what my heart does.
Right. What I'm saying
is what keeps me alive.
I wish I could subscribe to the Let's Go SEC thing, but I don't.
I can't do that, though, and I've never done that. But what I will say is if it comes down to a flip of the coin for me, and especially if we're in regular season more so than bowl season, yeah, that makes the SEC look better.
Just depends who I hate more. Like the other day, Tennessee played Ole Miss, and the only way I could win is if the stadium collapsed.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like when the Patriots and the Giants were playing, I wanted a meteorite to crash into the stadium so nobody could win.
I'm with Caveman because in 1986, the Mets played the Red Sox, and as a Yankee fan, I was rooting for nuclear implosion.
There you go.
So I'm with Caveman.
Mutually assured destruction. Mutually assured destruction.
Yes, rooting for the end of baseball.
Yeah, and Hayes, you and I are total polar opposites because I do everything with my heart. My mind comes second to my gut read, which is my heart.
See, for me, it's like
I
my
make
heart.
jokes there, but I'm
You
leaving.
sure could.
My heart
They've already taken
aligns-
out half my guts anyway. Go on.
My heart aligns with my teams.
Right.
Outside of
I get
that, it's my mind. And
Right.
and the thing is I don't care though.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
I literally
Yeah.
do not care about any other team. If it's the Commanders and the Lions, I don't give a flying F who wins or
Fudge.
loses.
We're late.
That
Flying
game.
F.
I have found myself
I love
actually
fudge.
hoping that I could pull for the SEC team that I know, and as the game starts, I can't do it.
It's like me with
I
the
just can't
Cowboys,
do it.
right? If the Philadelphia Eagles win only 2 games a season
Yeah.
and it's beating Dallas' asses both of those games, that's a winning season in my book. I will take that.
Oh, you'd make a great Jet fan.
Yeah. So I mean,
2
like,
wins.
I don't want to see teams in my division win. I want them to lose miserably. I want to spank them. I want to beat them down.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Well, I guess we're early.
Well, do we want to go that direction?
We can do whatever.
right
I don't
now?
care. It's your
was
show.
thinking- I was thinking that we take this
We'll say-
segment
yeah,
right
we-
here
we
and
do that
talk
and we can save that
sports,
for-
right, because
save that for
it's not
5:20.
it's
Yeah.
not very often that we get
Yeah.
Jimmy and Coach Haddad in here to be able to talk a little bit of sports. The question, you look very
we gotta talk
perplexed
Jets.
right now.
Yeah.
We
That
had
bump
Monty
has
on the
really
line.
messed you up.
Do the Jets have any players
That
left?
bump you took.
It's
You
the
were
bump
very
I took, the bump I
aggressive.
gave, actually, brother. Like, come on now.
The
We
designated
don't need-
hazer.
He needs to teach Cody how to deal with you.
Oh, you were the pitcher, not the receiver.
Yeah,
There's a lot of jokes there
exactly.
too, Coach. But
Definitely a lot of jokes there.
The FCC's listening.
All
Easy
right.
there.
So this is giving you a boost in testosterone, slamming someone to the canvas. I get it.
Well,
got
I
it.
went to my doctor prior to the match, and he said that I was about 28 points off of having normal testosterone. I went to him after, and then he said, you probably need to back down off of the things that
Wow.
you've been taking. And I said, I haven't been taking nothing. I've been giving ass whippings. And that's
Look at this. He sounds like Stone Cold already. One fling and he's off to the races. What?
I'll tell you what, man. And the only thing is that the fact is Jack Patterson wasn't going to allow me to smash a couple beers.
He's still running off that adrenaline. That adrenaline high from, what was it, a
Cali
month
man's
ago?
going to call in here in any.
It was actually. What's today? The 7th, so it's almost a month ago. But that was all in good fun for my cousin, and
it's a good show.
it was a
too.
great time.
Yeah.
And Dee Me was there, and
How much did he talk about himself to you?
to me personally,
Yeah.
none, because I didn't. If I would have met him, I would have said, "Hey, I recognize you from
he did
the,
he did a great
from the
he did a great
yoga
thing.
things."
He did a great thing at that event. He did.
really did.
Yeah.
But
he
again,
helped raise a lot of money, so that
you
was
go.
nice.
But I really did want to be like, oh yeah, I recognize you from the yoga things, and not, give
didn't know
them
you
the
wrestled.
adoration that everyone else gives them. But even though I was a big WCW fan growing up, so like those were my guys.
That'd be like telling George Foreman, you're the guy with the grill, right?
You're the guy with 5 sons who have the same name as you.
That's right.
Vince McMahon, you're the guy with the lawsuits, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, I am.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm dying to know what Jimmy thinks about the Jets here in the offseason. I mean, obviously, all right, let's start. No Rodgers. I mean, it's got to be probably a good thing in your mind, huh? Because obviously the experiment didn't work.
No. Well, the experiment didn't work, but as far as the percentage of blame that Aaron Rodgers has gotten, I find it hilarious. Don't you realize what team he's been playing for?
Right.
This is the franchise that hasn't been able to get anything right for how long now?
That's true.
Since Willie Namath wagged the finger.
That's right. Well, they've gotten a few things right since then,
come on,
but they
Buffalo
haven't,
led them all the
they
way.
haven't, especially in the last 15 years since our last back-to-back AFC Championship games, this has been a complete joke.
The feet sniffer.
When you realize if Aaron had come back this year, he would have been on his third coach in his third year. That's a reflection of the franchise. The franchise is so lost, and that's because the owner is a joke.
Yes.
All right? I've known that from day one. He's a shampoo owner. He's a businessman. He has a toy. This is his
But
toy.
he really owns a shampoo?
Somehow he's made that work all these years, but I don't think that there's much to really do once you've got your formula down and you know how to distribute it.
I feel like
when it
both
comes,
of y'all, like, are y'all buying into his shampoo?
I'm not buying into anything he's ever
Well, because
done.
we got longer hair.
Yeah, that's what I was. I mean, I have man hair, so
Maybe that's the reason why we got longer hair. You know?
Yeah, to avoid Woody's products. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I must have used it.
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers was the reason for the Jets' complete collapse. I think that's absurd.
Sure.
Watching the quarterbacks I've watched for the last 45 to 50 years as a Jet fan, Aaron Rodgers statistically had the third greatest year in the era of Jet quarterbacks, which is, to most people, you're used to seeing. You're very blessed in the recent years with your quarterback play. If you're a Patriots fan, you've seen Brady. I mean, even the 49ers get Mr. Irrelevant.
Ask us.
You know, yeah. You guys,
no, that's Titans fans.
We had Warren Moon back in the 80s, baby.
Purdy's a system
So then you
quarterback.
understand what I'm getting at. Along comes, Aaron Rodgers. Last year, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Oh, my God, for a Jet quarterback?
Right.
But it's just another damning reflection of how the team was put together.
Sure.
They fired the coach, which I wanted the coach fired a long time ago, but the timing of the firing of... No, never. Now, he doesn't carry himself like a head coach.
Okay. I can agree with
I want
that.
a head coach that is tough, and unfortunately nowadays it's the player that seems to hold the cards and not the team. The player used to be the employee. Now the player is an individual.
It depends on the team.
Who's a brand. Right, it does depend on the team. The Ravens somehow have been able to run a football organization. And there you don't screw around. It's not about how big your personality is or your brand.
So we hear this all the time in college, where when you bring in a coach, you want someone who maybe went there and understands what it's. He's an Alabama man. He's an LSU man. He's a Tennessee man. Aaron Glenn, obviously. Great.
He's
another defensive guy, but, do you buy into that more in the NFL? Somebody who comes in with a mentality, because it doesn't seem the same to me.
It's a lot easier to conduct yourself as a ball buster if your name is Bill Parcells, if your name is Bill Belichick, if you have a certain aura and swagger and proof of your record. Aaron Glenn has now put a giant X on his back. Okay, he is going to be target number one.
Sure.
The second things don't go right, because the second things don't go right, you're going to hear people grumbling about Aaron Rodgers.
Your team
and
is...
Devontae Adams. Who's our quarterback right now? I am. That's a problem. They called me.
I am.
They want me to come down
it's Jordan
and
Travis.
see how strong my arm is, because basically Tyrod Taylor is going to last about 3 or 4 games.
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis is about to be released,
I think,
by the way. I don't know if anybody can tell, but Jordan Travis is about to be released.
Isn't that their fault? He's going to be released as well?
Is the same as a lot of other teams out there, like the Detroit Lions.
Look at this guy. Nobody's quite like us.
No, it is.
Coming over from his high horse.
That's good.
Ownership. All right, it starts at the top and it's a trickle down. Okay,
it does.
The Fords, they suck as owners. Okay, always have been. Look at the Bears right now. Their owner, whatever her name is right now.
She's passed away.
She's 108 years old or whatever. Okay,
she was terrible.
Part of the problem. Okay, you need to have
Jimmy Haslam.
ownership that has a vision, that has a want to win. Like, look at my owner, Jeffrey Lurie. Okay, we got guys like Adam Goff in here talking about he wishes how the Cincinnati Bengals would maybe do stuff like the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to have an owner that's willing to spend the money and want to do it the right way. Okay, Jerry Jones, for instance, the guy's like a crackhead, okay? The guy has no business owning a football franchise. Yes, he's good for ratings, he's good for clickbait and such like that, but he's never going to win. Like I say, as an Eagles fan, until that man dies, I have nothing to worry about with the Dallas Cowboys. Once his son takes over and he actually maybe starts running the team like a proper franchise, then I might start sweating a little bit, right? But a lot of these franchises that you see out there where ownership is more worried about picking teams or players based off of like Madden ratings and such like that, and his children are, you're never going to win. Okay? And it starts at the top, and it's just like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. If the owner is total like clown shoes, the company's going to fail.
Yeah. And our owners have been clown shoes since Sonny Werblin.
For that. I don't think we have time for Michigan Eddie.
I knew it was coming.
Michigan Eddie, you have like, it's what,
20 seconds.
Yeah, you got very little time here. Go.
Caveman Ricky, you shut your trap.
All right, that's enough. That's what we have for him. That's what we have for him. All right, Michigan.
Point made.
You said Michigan Eddie 2 weeks ago. You were on with us.
Don't respond to him because he's just going to keep
your
calling
father even told you the same thing, that the ownership is a joke, and that's the reason why the Detroit Lions aren't doing anything. Your father told you that, and you told us.
I bet Eddie hadn't stopped ranting.
No, he did.
I don't blame him. That was.
He
I knew
doesn't
that was
even know that he's off.
I knew
right
that was
now.
coming.
I mean, from the ownership of a Tennessee Titans fan, it's just like I don't.
But
we have
All right. So, but Rick was making a good point about that. You've got to be able to invest. But you got to invest the money, but then you also have to get out of the way. The problem with Jerry Jones, right? 100%. Jerry Jones is willing to spend the money, but he wants to make all the say, and he's not a professional. He wants to
spend the money,
and you can't have a radio show every week.
In any level of corporate structure, the owner hires the best person out there based on their experience, their ability, and all that. And then your job at that point is to give them the resources to enact their vision.
You have to empower people.
Right.
Okay. What happened with Washington, with the Commanders, right?
We had a change in leadership.
Right. No, exactly. You get rid of Dan Snyder.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden, they come in but
there were a few other things.
Ex-Cowboys
there were a few other things.
Hold on. Time out.
All right.
Time out for 1 second. Okay.
All right.
Please
keep it quick.
Understand that we're coming from a Woody Johnson world, okay?
Right.
Please don't mention Jerry Jones in the same sentence as Woody Johnson and Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
It's an insult to Jerry Jones. And what I mean by this is, do I think Jerry Jones needs to step aside? Of course I do. Do I think that Jerry Jones has way too much power and tries to do too many things on his own himself? Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. However, unlike Woody Johnson, unlike Dan Snyder, the year before last, with 3 straight 12-win seasons.
Yeah.
3 straight. Okay, so it's not like the guy has no clue what he's doing. He does. It's just too much hands-on, step to the side, diminish your role, and delegate. I agree with that. But to mention Jerry Jones in the same dysfunctional sentence as Woody Johnson.
Hey, would you
Dan
say
Snyder, who makes Woody Johnson look like a genius.
Let me ask you this.
Jerry Jones is spending money.
Let me ask you this, though.
He is.
All right, would you say Jerry Jones is similar to 1980s Steinbrenner? Not 90s.
No, because George is greater than Jerry Jones will ever.
Yeah, they won, and they won.
Not in the 80s.
And they won the most games in the 1980s, the New York Yankees.
Yeah, but
so
outside of 81,
what
never went to the show.
he's reminding me of is Brian Cashman on acid. Okay, what I mean by that is that he does have his successes, like the 3 straight 3 straight 12-win seasons. The whole listen, Tony Romo's career was not a failure. I'm sorry that there was no hardware, but they were a winning team year after year after year.
And Jessica Simpson as well.
What he basically is what Cashman has been for the last 10 to 15 years. So Jessica Simpson.
I knew it. We can get past it.
Nothing gets past me. I'm from New York.
It almost got past.
No, it's just processing, Batman, processing. But basically, Cashman has given year after year. The Yankees are pretty good, okay? Since 2000,
but if
the Yankees have the highest winning percentage in Major League Baseball for the last quarter of a century. Yeah. However, it's just like Jerry Jones at this point. How many times are you going to go year after year and have a good season and just peter out?
Yeah.
So I feel like Jerry Jones, who's way more insane and way more older and way more deranged than Cashman, it's Cashman on acid.
Yeah.
That's my...
Fair enough.
You know, there is some success there, but the guy's obviously...
But again, guys like Cashman and guys like Jerry Jones, they're spending money. You spend that kind of cash,
right?
You should at least be competitive.
Getting back to Woody. Woody spent a fortune. Look what it did.
He hasn't spent, but the Jets haven't spent by the way some of these other teams have spent.
Aaron Rodgers' contract was insane. Devontae Adams was very expensive last year.
So 2 players.
Yeah, but he's spent a lot of money on his team.
But you have to
What I'm saying is Woody's always spent money.
It's hard to argue with him because this guy on Wednesday is thought of as a judge.
Hey,
we have.
It is a cap league.
He's got the championship.
But hey, it's a cap league, but you have to know how to spend the money. If you're smart, you can get around the cap by giving bonuses and stuff like that.
Not smart.
And having incentives for your players.
Yeah.
And if you do it the right way, you can actually overspend in a way.
Too many people with the name Johnson in that front office, too.
Yeah, that's another issue.
I
heard
nepotism is your problem. Nepotism.
There you go.
Someone texted in and they said Jerry Jones has 3 titles. The Eagles have how many? I'll wait.
Okay, yeah, we have 2. We have 2.
Come on.
Okay, and Jerry Jones
have 5.
Listen, Jerry Jones could have had 8 titles had he been smart enough to keep his mouth shut and kept Jimmy Johnson as his head coach. But because he wanted all the glory, he got rid of him. He won one more with the clown shoes coach that came from college basically won a championship with Jimmy Johnson's players and his system. And then after that, what are they? The last time, if you want to watch...
I was in college.
If you want to watch highlights, if you want to watch a highlight tape of the Dallas Cowboys, you have to put a VHS tape in a VCR.
Ooh, them's fighting words.
This guy going.
Them's fighting words.
Anytime that I can get this guy going.
VHS, baby!
I'm gonna
Betamax for some.
do it. 850-215-6290. If you want to take a dance with Caveman Rick right now.
What have you done in the last 30 years, Cowboy fans? Come on, bring it. Talk to me.
Hey,
the Eagles, listen, the Philadelphia Eagles have 20
Eagles, fly.
They have 20 playoff wins since 2000. The rest of the NFC East combined is 18. That tells you right there.
Yeah. Ron Jaworski, that mofo.
Bring it. Call up and bring it, Cowboy fans.
There you go.
You ain't got nothing.
The same person said, just accept the fact, bud, but I would say call in.
That's
if
good.
you know.
Good. Well, we can't today. We're going to be busy today.
Yeah, no, 100%. But we do have a second line working now these afternoons. So if you'd like to call in, 850-215.
Cry, Cowboys, cry.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, you know what? I guess that we've got about 30 seconds here, so I'll remind you guys real quick about the ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge. You can take your madness to the next level, compete in the ultimate bracket buster against other ESPN Northwest Florida listeners and staff. Just go to espnpc.com and click Big Bracket Challenge. Then fill out your brackets, go to espnpc.com and click Big Bracket Challenge. It's free to sign up, and you might win cash prizes. That's brought to you by Panama City Toyota, PCB Hobby, and Buffalo Rock. We'll be right back here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Monty and Pharaoh coming up next.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, a variety of very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 62 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Sprinkles tomorrow morning, a light breeze and quite warm near 69. Lightly sprinkling and 70 in the afternoon and evening. 69 and light rain and a chance of thunderstorms with a gentle breeze Sunday. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Introducing Water Clear Pools, the home of the 10-week pool guarantee. We guarantee custom pool completion from permit to your first swim in 10 weeks or less. Water Clear Pools is the premier pool builder for the Margaritaville development on Highway 79. Free quotes and custom pools anywhere in Northwest Florida. Call now, 850-835-4177, or see our website, waterclearpool.com. Licensed and insured. License number CPC 1459723.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Eat, sleep, game. This is your sports obsession. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with this Eagles guy, this Fanatics guy,
Cowboys hater,
this Phillies guy, this...
He's on top of the world, man.
He is on top of the world, though. But we also have some good people in the building with us.
What the?
Is there
Coach
another
Brian
room? I don't know.
Boy, win a Super Bowl, get crucified. What's the problem,
right? So everybody hates
bunch of jealous people in this room. I'm not jealous.
Hey, I'm
jealous.
All right,
I'm
I'm
used to it.
I lied.
I'm used to it. I'm used to the hate being a Philadelphia guy. I love it. Bring it. Because you know what? That just means that, we're doing our job.
There you go.
And very well.
I will also say Caveman Rick is actually really good people. Coach Brian had even better people.
Be careful now. Be careful. It's my turn. Go ahead.
we got Jimmy. He's a Yankees fan. And
So am I. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
I know. Hey, neither one of you guys have facial hair. We didn't even talk about that.
Not this week.
How do we feel about the Yankees being...
Old habits die hard, man. I listened to George.
Yeah, we got a little bet going on, too, about that.
17.5.
Yep.
As long
The
as
over and under.
17.5 Yankees at some point in time during the season, right?
Yeah, because we said first month, but then Morgan wrote it up for the whole season.
Yeah.
So when we signed it,
So, oh yeah, we need to.
Yeah, let's bring in our guest here.
All right, go ahead, Coach Brock. Take over.
Look, it's that time. We love this. We love talking about wrestling, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. So let's bring him in on the phone. We got Jimmy in the studio here, and Monty on the phone. Monty and the Pharaoh. Check them out on Facebook, Cablevision, YouTube, Long Island, and Northwest Florida's #1 wrestling show. Thank you very much. Mikey, how you doing today?
Great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, let's get into it. First question, and I really want to know this from both of you. Can we all just settle down and trust Triple H at this point?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because there was so much consternation going into this. Oh, The Rock wants souls, and it's confusing, and I don't know what the WrestleMania matches are 9 weeks out, and everything's going to hell. And can we just trust that this man knows what he's doing?
I'll say no.
No, because everybody's got something called an opinion, and it's never going to be perfect in the eyes of the fans.
Sure.
So there's always going to be second guessing. I do trust Triple H, but it's definitely different from Vince. Mike, what do you say?
I'm going to go with trust Triple H, man. Did not see that coming. Well done yet again. Proves why I can't write wrestling or pick football.
Well, I mean, we got to get into it. Obviously, the big story of Elimination Chamber. First of all, excellent show beginning to end.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that. But obviously, the biggest talking point, John Cena.
What do you do?
Not for the first time ever, by the way.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
Nerd.
No,
The only
that's
time that it's
true.
mattered.
But yes,
The only time it's mattered.
yes,
The only time that it's mattered.
that's correct.
Right.
John Cena turns heel. Let's start with this, guys.
Top 20 heel turn of all time.
Yes, but let's start with this. We know the WWE has always had great production, but how beautifully was this done from beginning to end?
The camera work was fantastic, and from what I've heard, Triple H, this was so top secret as far as John turning heel.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the cameramen were not even aware that it was about to happen, and Triple H turned to the cameraman and said, "Everybody, hands off. I've got this from here."
So
that
he
basically,
manned the
it was
cameras?
Triple H that was calling the camera shots because Triple H knew what was about to happen, and not even his own staff had word that John was about to do something that
I heard
hasn't.
it was only like Triple H, The Rock, Grickwitz, is that?
Brian Gewitz. He's kind of the
There you go.
Rock's
And, yeah.
writer, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This was top secret. The camera work was incredible. It's ironic. I have always rooted against John. Always. I could never stand the Vanilla Ice on steroids.
Right.
It always annoyed me. And for the first time in my life, I found myself rooting for him. And the camera work, when the hug happened between the face and the greatest face in the history of this company, outside of Hogan and possibly even greater than Hogan as far as the greatest face in the history of this company, when he's hugging Cody and all of a sudden the camera work shows John looking at The Rock and The Rock doing the Undertaker motion underneath his throat, and John's face changed. And I jumped up. I was like, oh, my God, it's finally going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for John. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm rooting for John. One kick to the groin, and I'm a fan.
Yeah.
That took so long, so many years. I thought it was amazingly done. And it creates true interest because on the surface, John Cena, the face, versus Cody Rhodes, the face at WrestleMania, to me, is bland. And now it has color. Mike, what was your thoughts on the whole thing?
Well, I don't know if it was bland, Jimmy. I could have took the face versus the face, but definitely the John Cena turn was a big deal. Until I saw the bald spot, and then we realized,
You're going there? You're like, what?
His bald spot brought the O to NWO, huh?
That's exactly right. I was like, just getting old, looking old, having the Rocky Balboa body. But no, great heel turn. Did not expect it all the way to the end. Totally in shock. Some of the best writing I've ever saw.
Yeah, CM Punk already coined their tag team nickname, the Bald Frauds. He did that Monday on Raw.
Right.
But
great promo.
Yeah, let me start with you on this one, Mike, because I'm curious. I think I know where both of you are going to be on this, but David asked it of me Monday, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Obviously, one of the questions that comes up anytime something big happens is this the best ever? So, and the one that everybody always talks about, of course, Bash at the Beach, right here, Hulk Hogan turning heel, becoming the third man for the NWO. Where do you rank this specifically in relation to the Hogan heel turn, Mike?
Well, Coach, that's our second show tonight, our top 10 heel turns.
Well, there we go. Check it out. Money in the Pharaoh tonight.
I'll put it this way. I'm going to give you the 4, and where does it rank? It goes at number 4. So that's number 4.
Okay.
Then I'm going Zbyszko Sammartino 3. And then possibly Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan 2, and then NWO Hogan. Now, again, Cena can move down that list to number 1 if this turns out to be a better story, right? It's just the beginning of it all, but that's what I'm going with.
We're going to have a lot to debate about when the show starts because Mike just revealed what we're going to be talking about and what order we're placing them. I already feel that this is the second greatest heel turn in the history of the business. I still think that Hogan's will always remain number 1 because of the circumstances that happened at the time that he turned heel. You had a Monday Night War thing going on. It changed the entire business. Hogan's heel turn was just so shocking, and the fallout from it led to the Attitude Era and eventually Vince McMahon conquering WCW and buying them out. There's just so many things that historically this heel turn, as great as it is, and if I'm putting it at number 2 in my mind, it is great, but is it ever going to reach the impact of the business that Hogan's turn? No. Not in my opinion.
I have to interrupt. How do you put that in front of Andre turning on Hogan?
Brother, you're bleeding. Brother, you're bleeding.
One of the greatest lines in the history of
Well, you
wrestling.
might have a point, Mike, because I think that what was the end result of that? See, now I'm definitely willing to reevaluate what I'm saying because, well, that's how the world works if you're a reasonable person.
Exactly.
Maybe Ukraine and the United States could learn that by talking to each other.
I'm reasonable. I'm right along with you.
Republicans ought to figure that out.
There you go. There you go.
But when you think about, well, sorry, but it's the truth. Basically, when you think about the impact that led to WrestleMania 3, then right now on the surface, sure, it's bigger. We have to see where this takes us, and Mike might have a point. I don't know if it'll ever be more important as an end result in WrestleMania 3. That changed everything. Hogan, Andre, 93,000 people.
I think that's a great call out because a lot of people don't think about Andre turning heel as one oh my God moment.
It wasn't oh my God.
But you're right. It was huge, and it set up the biggest event probably that's ever been in wrestling. So that was an interesting one. I definitely am going to be tuning in tonight to see that. Let's get you guys' thoughts on this. We've always talked, ever since Cena's announced this last year, that number 17 was in play. Obviously, he's been referencing that ever since declaring for the Royal Rumble.
Flair's not happy about that.
Well, Flair's Flair. Yeah. And Flair, by the way, has more than 16, depends on who you ask. Yeah. But, so, again, that's the key number. Do we think Cena takes number 17 as a heel, or should he get the redemption arc and get number 17 later in the year as a face again?
I think one way or the other he's going to get number 17. Whether he does it as a heel or whether he does it as a face is still unknown.
That wasn't the question.
If he gets that, does Flair come back to try to get one more to beat him?
Good Lord, I hope not.
Not without a stretcher, an ambulance, and a hospital nearby, he doesn't. And maybe a good dentist.
I seen him in a video not too long ago smoking with Mike Tyson.
Right.
What do you think, Mike? Does Cena claim number 17 here as a heel, or do we have to wait till later in the year?
If he was facing Cody as a face, I was saying no because it was way too early in the year and he wasn't going to be able to carry it out. As a heel now, there's a really big possibility. But then again, as a businessman, do I take that strap off of Cody Rhodes, who's making me tons of money right now? I don't know.
Hey, I'm going to ask a stupid question here, not for the first nor last time, but I am a little bit curious about this. If there is any small silver lining to the entire way the thing played out at the time, the one thing I was not very keen on was the involvement of Travis Scott. And I just felt like he was in the way. I'm not talking about him potatoing Cody. We can get into that later. But he just felt in the way of distraction at some points, lighting his sage and all that. And look, I understand why they want celebrities in. I even think that's a smart play on the WWF's part or WWE's part, and it's been a history thing. Do you think his involvement kind of got in the way a little bit of this, or am I making too much of that?
That was WWE capitalizing on culture. They want to bring in more eyeballs, and that's why they had him there.
And they always do that.
And they always do that. But however, I will say this, and this is another huge difference between the Hogan heel turn and what just happened here. Travis Scott, to me, as a fan, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
You serve no flipping purpose. I don't need to look at you. I don't want to see you. Blah, blah, blah. You know, like when Hogan did the heel turn, it was all wrestlers involved.
Also, though, real quick, when Hogan did the heel turn, what promotion was he under?
WCW.
Okay, big difference, though.
True. Right? I mean, I didn't have a problem with him walking out with The Rock. I didn't like him being in the ring.
Needed Hulk Hogan to do the heel turn to kind of take them to new heights.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Mike, did it get in the way for you at all, or am I just making too much out of this?
Here's the thing. As an older fan, I understand where Jimmy's coming from, right? It's like, Travis Scott, who is this guy? What is he doing here? And I thought the same thing. But then when he got involved, I said, I like it. I like it a lot.
Interesting.
I like that he popped Cody.
Boo.
Because, Travis Scott's going to get his. He's going to get his in the end.
I'm dying to see the receipt.
Oh, the receipt's going to be... Cody's going to put his foot up his sphincter.
Shouldn't it be that way, though? Shouldn't the wrestlers get the last laugh, of the...
Well, they should.
I think ultimately Cody will give him a receipt. I think Mike is going that correctly.
The face will always get it. But here's the thing. Didn't he give you a Dennis Rodman feel? It did.
No.
See,
Dennis Rodman, not at all. There's nothing tough about that guy. Mike, I'd knock him out in a second. So would you. Nope. Dennis Rodman was a tough guy.
He was.
Comparing Travis Scott to Dennis Rodman is no.
I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. There has to be some sort of track record with the element of the celebrity that they're bringing in. That's like bad boy.
Right.
Yeah. With Travis Scott, is what, lyrics?
As goofy as it sounds,
it doesn't count.
As goofy as it sounds, when they use Snoop Dogg, at least Snoop Dogg is the size of the Statue of Liberty.
And not just
he's
that,
large, tall.
But right. But there was an element of Snoop Dogg that gave believability.
Right.
With Travis Scott,
none
of you, right?
Yeah,
and
did nothing
even
for
myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
Did nothing for me.
No street cred.
The only thing.
I will say that, and I don't have any credit in the street either. So
I'm with Mike on one thing. The only thing that will save this and make it make more sense is if they integrate him more with the dark side of the whole storyline, because this was all about how The Rock wanted his soul.
Yeah.
Okay, and Travis Scott is a known Satanist. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows this.
I do know that.
But he is.
Yeah.
So if they integrate a little bit more of that into this, then I'm with Mike that this could be saved. But on face value, what are you doing in the ring?
I was hoping we were going to dive into this.
Look at Jimmy dropping knowledge. I had no idea. Had no idea the dude was a Satanist.
Well, I'm a big fan of Charles Manson, so why are you surprised that I would know about this?
That's why we don't get it, Mike. That's why you and I don't get it.
Hold on. What was The Rock doing in that ring when it was Cody and John Cena?
The Rock can do whatever he wants.
No. I'm asking you what he was doing in that time.
He wanted the answer from Cody. Are you coming with me or not? And Cody told him to go.
Are you giving me your soul?
First of all.
So why doesn't John Cena, why is it that the big deal of, is John Cena giving The Rock his soul?
Well, he's in Hollywood with him. He's already given his soul.
He's on the dark side already.
Here's the thing I want y'all's opinion on,
we didn't know that before then, though.
Look,
isn't that great? What a great revelation that was.
As much
to the groin. Oh my God, he's Satan too.
As much as the Cena face drop was epic.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. As much as The Rock's throat slash was epic. The thing that first got the fans going nuts in that moment. How about Cody dropping a live F-bomb on the show?
Right.
I have heard very few pops that because it was so out of nowhere.
Right.
And that really set up what was coming next.
Well, Mike has always said it, and I agree with him, and I give him credit because he's always said this. Wrestling is a microcosm and a reflection of society.
Yeah.
When you look at Cody Rhodes, he is the most pure face since Bob Backlund.
True.
This guy is goody two-shoes. I can't stand him. It's the same thing like with Bob Backlund. But the moment the F-bomb comes out of his mouth, I'm immediately reminded that it's 2025 and that the world is much different than when Bob Backlund was champion for 5.5 years. The pure face today drops an F-bomb. What a microcosm of the world we live in now. You know, and then John, of course, returns it with a kick to the groin, and everybody's shocked. But what I also felt was very interesting, and Mike, please weigh in on this. When The Rock put the throat slit sign, he put up 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Later on, he put up a third. What's with that? Okay. When he put up 2, I'm assuming he was like, okay, it's me, and now it's you, John. And then later on, he put up 3. There's another one that's going to come. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Roman? Is it going to be Punk himself?
Stone Cold.
No, Stone Cold won't have anything to do with
Stone Cold,
this.
if he's involved, will be on Cody's side of the deal.
Yeah, he will be. But who is the
like
third
he's gonna be-
evil villain that's going to suddenly appear? Would it be Roman? Roman's been very quiet. Mike, what do you think? Is there anything to this?
Jimmy, I kind of thought it doesn't seem to throw up the 3 fingers, and I thought that was the signal. Right. So, it's a good point you're bringing up. I'm just not so sure. It wasn't the whole
Why would Rocky put up two
thing.
fingers?
Foreshadowing.
Which I found very interesting.
I think it's such a testament to all the Easter eggs that Triple H and WWE have been laying for the last year. We're looking for anything and everything, you know?
Right, we are.
That's why I have my Easter egg is on the semi-trailer that was out there. There was John Cena's face on one side of the trailer, and then Stone Cold's face was on the opposite side. So I do feel like Stone Cold is going to be, because well, like you said, they don't do these things for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was supposed to be 7 guys on that truck, but Triple H has a budget. There's your secret message.
There you go. Well, Mike, hold on if you don't mind for us. We're going to take a quick break. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida.
Cowboys suck.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
3-pointer, punch it in.
We're taking March Madness to the next level. Join our bracket challenge at ESPNPC.com to compete with the ESPN Northwest Florida listeners and staff. The top 3 brackets win cash and prizes. Join the madness at ESPNPC.com. The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge is sponsored by PCB Hobby, Pepsi, and Panama City Toyota.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, a variety of very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 62 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Sprinkles tomorrow morning, a light breeze and quite warm near 69. Lightly sprinkling and 70 in the afternoon and evening. 69 and light rain and a chance of thunderstorms with a gentle breeze Sunday. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings recognizes the optimism in the air, and a golden age has begun for all to share. Bestway has been constructing durable, custom-made portable buildings in just about any size since 1989. They know what they're doing. Of course, you're not obligated in any way to buy from Bestway Portable Buildings. However, owner Jason Mulder asks that you please give them a try before you buy. Bestway Portable Buildings, a golden age builder north of the Old Mall on Highway 231 and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com.
It's the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Your SEC champion Auburn Tigers close the regular season at home against Alabama.
10 to shoot. Chennai spins into the lane with 6. Up with the left hand. Got it! Chad Baker. He'll pop a 3. Yes! Hedford on the wing. Gets a screen. Drives free throw line. Down the lane. Jump step. Up and in. There's your foul!
Tip-off Saturday at 1:30 with coverage at 1 p.m. on your home for the champions.
ESPN Northwest Florida, War Eagle.
From the diamond to the end zone, from the studio to the sideline, we're the destination for sports on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Bust it on the beat.
We in a club.
Bust it on the beat. We in the club. Hey, you guys are right. You're right with the Afternoon
Our bumper
Underdogs.
music has suffered.
Studio is very weird today. Very weird. Go on, keep busting a beat. Go on, Hayes. You're a star now. You're in the business. Start dancing.
right.
Oh,
you
my
funky
goodness.
monkey, you.
Go. Yeah, we got to
Funky monkey.
We got to get Hayes on the Monty and the Pharaoh show
Brass
now. He's
monkey.
taking a
Yeah, I
bump.
think
He's
so,
taking
right?
a bump.
No, he gave
What
a
was
And
it
he
bump.
gave a better bump.
I gave a bump.
Yeah,
And-
that's right.
and then
He's a pitcher, not a receiver. Come on, coach. Insert joke here.
I'm much
Don't
rather
insert
be
that
a
there. That
pitcher.
hurts.
I'd rather be a pitcher than receiver all day long.
Oh,
in any
my
terms
Lord.
of-
I'm
All
not
right,
touching
before
this.
the FCC gets
All
involved,
right,
let's
here
bring
we go.
Mikey back in here again. Monty and the Pharaoh joining us here. Facebook, Cablevision, YouTube. Tonight, we're going to find out the greatest heel turns in wrestling history.
And tonight, Monty
Tonight
and
on
the
the
Pharaoh
show.
have John Cena Sr. on.
Oh,
How
the
about them
pops
apples?
Okay.
of the Turner.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
That's
Keep
gonna
talking
be
about us.
fun.
Go
I
ahead.
love it. I love it.
Feel free.
I mean, what else can you say? I mean, you got to tune in tonight to see what's
Absolutely.
going on with that.
Absolutely.
So as we led with, the entire show was an excellent show. So I do want to
Yes.
get into more. I mean, we could talk Cena for days.
Thanks.
but
I really appreciate
Yeah, there you
your
go.
4 to 6 compliments
there
for
you go.
today.
There you go. I'm going to get this out of the way now. The Trish and Tiffany match, I think, was actually as good as a filler match could be. That was obviously a nod to the Toronto fans, Trish hometown. And it was fine, you know. It was a decent match. Trish kicking Tiffany out of the ring to get her out of the way was a little humorous to me. But let's go to the women's elimination chamber here first. Bianca Belair wins. But there were quite a few storylines here, and we'll start with the very beginning. I'm not even sure the bell had rung. All of a sudden, Jade Cargill's music comes out. She looks like $100 million.
Yes, she does.
Comes down to the ring and
First gray-haired lady
beats
I ever wanted to
Naomi to a pulp.
Good.
Guys, how about that for getting a show started?
Loved it. I loved every second of that. I can't stand Naomi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Naomi is boring and has always been boring. Her character stinks. She's a great in-ring wrestler. She's got an intro that the fans pop for, but then she doesn't bring any emotions out of the fans after that. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thrilled that this happened. Naomi needs to turn bad. I don't want to steal my partner's thunder, but he's right. Naomi needs to turn bad and hook up with the bloodline and do something nefarious. You know, when you have the entire crowd cheering what on the surface to me was Jade Cargill doing a heel move, whether she's currently a face or not,
Correct.
that was a heel move, what she did.
Correct.
All right, and as they're carting out Naomi on a stretcher, the fans are singing to the so-called good guy, na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye. So what does that tell you about how she's been booked
Jade
over the years?
Cargill needs to give me her number.
Yeah. And
That's
what Naomi's what? Look at you. You are in the business. You think you're going to get phone numbers now. This is hilarious.
This is how you do it, though. You get podcasts or you get on air and you talk about the people
Yeah.
you want,
There you go.
date or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's how like a guy like Kelsey got Swift.
Yeah.
Mike, you and I are obviously big fans of the women's wrestling and what's been going on over the last year. What did you think about that, getting the night started, and then the women's elimination chamber from that point?
That Jade Cargill attack was unbelievable. And how about Bianca's reaction?
Oh, my God.
Trying to get out of the chamber to help
Great.
her friends, doesn't know what's going on. And then he actually tries to leave the cage, but Liv pulls her back in. I think it was Liv, right?
Right. Yep.
That I wrote Jimmy because Jimmy was working on. Jimmy, when you watch this, you'll love it. It was such. The women really kicked off the show incredibly.
It was great.
And you know what? Liv Morgan actually performed in this.
Yes,
match.
she did.
Actually did some good stuff.
She always
I was
does.
like, you know what?
She's been learning from Dom.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm not stopping nothing. Liv Morgan has been a hot ticket for over a year now. What have you been watching?
Come on, tell him.
What do you mean? No, hot ticket as a character, as
Right.
a wrestler.
Definitely not Bret
Correct.
Hart.
No, I'm with Mike. I
Definitely
agree,
not
but
Bret Hart, more
I
like Bret
disagree with all of
Favre.
you.
Character fantastic. She really stepped up as an in-ring performer in this match. I agree.
I think she's been doing great.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put this out to both of you. We don't have to go anywhere with it. I don't think this Jade storyline is over with Naomi. I think Bianca's involved somewhere because we have 7 weeks. Something else is part of this. And it wouldn't even shock me if Naomi wasn't the one who jumped her. Jade could have jumped Naomi as a message to Bianca. Just let this play out. All right, let me ask you this.
Wait, could I just...
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach?
Go ahead.
I would agree with you 100%. Jimmy and I even spoke about this. Maybe Bianca is with Naomi. She's acting. But all of a sudden, they take the belt off of Rhea, and now I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they're probably, it's like there were too many one-on-one matches. They're going to throw one triple threat at us or something. Rhea's definitely going to be involved in that match, but I don't know. That one was a bit of a shocker, too. But let me ask you this, because my soul left my body for a very short second.
Now The Rock has your soul, too?
Yes, during the women's match. Guys, the hair whip from Bianca to Liv.
On top of the elimination chamber.
Oh, my God. You can. There are certain things in this business that you cannot fake.
Yes.
And Bianca, of course, with that hair, as long as it is a whip.
Yeah.
She literally whipped her. And she bled.
The crack.
She bled?
I mean, she bled.
The crack and the welt. I've never seen anything like that.
Bleeding on her side. It's like coming out of it. There's no way you can fake something like that. I hope there was some extra coin in that paycheck. That was nasty. And the sound of the hair hitting the skin, I still hear it.
Like taking a towel and doing the rat tail.
Yeah, it was like the rat tail, but like 10 times worse.
But
10
worse.
times worse.
Mike, in a night that Kevin Owens and Sammy took insane bump after insane bump after insane bump, I'm not sure anything hurt worse than Liv taking that whip.
Oh, that barbed wire chair, though.
Yeah, that was pretty good, but I'm serious.
That was good.
The hair whip was very nasty.
All right, so
You're going to say that over?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you this, guys. Coach, my soul didn't leave my body, but on Friday night on SmackDown it did when Stratton's top came down.
There we go.
That's not all that left your body. Keep it clean.
I just thought of 5 things, and I'm glad I didn't say any of them. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
And I did just want to shout out, we've got, obviously, Rhea and Bianca. These are big, muscular, athletic girls. The quote, small girls are really doing a great job in that division. Liv, Alexa, I thought, did really well coming back after 2 years off. Roxanne Perez is a future star.
Right.
And then, obviously, Io Sky has been very good for a long time. Whether she should have won or not, we'll get into that at another time.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the Kevin Owens-Sami Zayn match. I thought this was excellent. It was great storytelling. I am dumbfounded by the fact that after 20 years of doing this, these two guys can still tell a compelling story.
Right.
Every time you think we've seen it all with these two, they go to another level. I mean, it's really amazing, isn't it?
There have historically, because you just hammered it home by explaining how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
They are the greatest friendship in the history, for the most part, of this business as far as their longevity.
High praise.
And I love you. I hate you. I love you. You're family. You're blood to me, but I'm going to crack your skull open. It's amazing how after all these years, and Mike had asked me before this match, aren't you tired of this? I'm like, nope. Because every time they get in the ring, they hit a home run. And this was 28 minutes, by the way. This was not like a 10-minute, slobber knocker, as JR used to say back in the day. This was 28 minutes of great wrestling moves and then complete barbarianism.
Yeah.
These guys are the greatest at what they do. They're the ultimate workers for the company, and I'm sure Mike would agree with that. They are the ultimate hands. You can always go to them, no matter what the situation. They're not always pushed as main event guys, but you can insert them immediately if you need to, and the fans buy into them. They are so flexible and have been for this company for so long, and it's just an incredible testament to the chemistry between those two and their real-life friendship and how well they work together. Mike?
The great thing about pro wrestling is you see a character, you don't like that character, and then all of a sudden they get thrown off the top of the cage, and you're like, wow, I love that guy all of a sudden. Yeah. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I could not stand them, and now I will tell you, when this is all said and done and we're all old and they're old and these kids are watching the Hall of Fame, these two are some of the 2 greatest WWE pro wrestlers, superstars. Hall of Fame, incredible, and they don't need championships. They don't they're incredible, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And then, of course, the end of the match, you have the finish, which after everything that happened, almost anything would seem a little anticlimactic, and it looks like it's over. And then KO decides, I've got more. So I'm going to pull up the padding, and we're going to the concrete floor, baby, with a package pile driver. And we get Randy Orton's big return. And I always find it funny when he's just, back there in his wrestling gear. It's not like he's running out in, a shirt and jeans, but Randy Orton makes his big return. But I want to throw this out there. November 2023 Survivor Series, Randy Orton's giant return after 14 months out gets upstaged by CM Punk.
Right.
Randy Orton's return here on the Elimination Chamber gets upstaged by John Cena. If we ever see Randy Orton return again, we better expect
something huge.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore to happen here.
Right. It doesn't really matter in Randy Orton's case. Randy Orton is such a lock legend.
Yeah.
And the fans just never get tired of him. And it's interesting with Randy. Randy had to go through a lot of garbage to get to the legendary status that he's at now. If you go back to even 10 years ago, there were so many people, Randy Orton, he's boring. He always is the same way. He's terrible on the microphone and all this other garbage, which I always thought was garbage. I've always considered Randy Orton like an old Western straight shooter. There's something about him that just reeks of the South, and I think in a good way.
This man just pointed at me. This man just pointed at me. Reeks of the South.
Well,
you're in the business
who's Mr.
now.
WCW? That's like, pitching and not receiving.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you grew up on Southern wrestling, and Randy embodies that. He just feels old school, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's weird how some guys, as they age, and not too many can say this, some guys, as they age, get better, look better, look meaner. Randy was actually such a good-looking young guy that it was hard to buy into that hard edge that he has now. He comes out now, he looks like this aged... he's been through everything, and you can see it on his face.
Glass of whiskey.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he really is. He's definitely Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah.
And he comes across great. Mike, what do you say about Randy over the years?
All-time great. Had some storylines. Never gets old to me. Keeps himself in great shape. I was really looking forward to maybe him winning a few more titles and maybe Cena and him getting out of it. I don't see that being the case. But again, another guy that's just bypassed his father 10 times.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As much as we loved Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Orton has bypassed him so many times at this point.
Heyman had the quintessential Randy Orton quote when they asked him if you were going to start a wrestling company today, who are the three wrestlers you'd choose? He goes, Randy Orton, Randy Orton, and Randy Orton.
Right.
But yeah,
ultimate worker.
Absolute star. So great show. We kind of hit on the men's match. CM Punk, I thought, was actually excellent in the match. And so I didn't love him in the Rumble.
What about all the emotions they pulled out of you in that main event? I'm a Punk guy. We know that I'm a Punk guy. Here, all of a sudden, Seth Rollins goes and steps on his head.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was so angry. I know. Yeah. I'm like you, SOB. I was so angry, and then everything else happened, and then the heel turn, and I left the pay-per-view ecstatic.
Yeah.
I was like, this has got to be one of the best pay-per-views in a long time.
As someone who doesn't follow as closely as Monty and Pharaoh and Coach Brian do, it left me like, whoa, what's going on?
Right.
No, I thought everybody was on point during this show. It's a little unfair because we don't have a ton of time, but quickly, word has come out today. Lex Luger is going to be going into the Hall of Fame.
Finally.
Just quick thoughts, guys, on that.
Finally, about time. Lex Luger is a no-brainer. On the other end, the natural disasters have been selected, and I'll let Mike talk about that because he probably already knows what I'm thinking. Mike, any quick thoughts on Luger going in and the natural disasters?
Got about a minute.
You know what? Does Luger deserve it? Yeah. Jimmy, I really do think the natural disasters deserve it. I know you're not a huge fan, but I do think that. Now, you're upset because Demolition isn't chosen? I agree with you.
Okay, fine.
But
you're not
still,
a dork. Okay.
The natural disasters. They were a great tag team, and they were fun. And, I'm okay with it. Only Michelle McCool I have a problem with. Everybody else, I'm fine.
They did that on ESPN Live in front of The Undertaker, man. That was a huge one. We'll talk about that the next time that we have Monty and Pharaoh on. All I got to say for today is Jesus loves you, so do I. And I'm going to give everyone else their
Titans
chance.
stink.
Cowboys suck.
Cry, Cowboys, cry.
All right, with that, y'all have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
Mike.
Hey, go to ESPNPC.com and sign up for the bracket challenge.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
Three-pointer, puts it in.
We're taking March Madness to the next level. Join our bracket challenge at ESPNPC.com to compete with the ESPN Northwest Florida listeners and staff. The top 3 brackets win cash and prizes. Join the madness at ESPNPC.com. The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge is sponsored by PCB Hobby, Pepsi, and Panama City Toyota.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, a variety of very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 62 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the south-southwest.